Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'll be answering the question, could the Buffalo Sabres make the playoffs this year? And, some people have them really down in the standings, but let me tell you why I think they could make it. Now, I think that they're a potentially dark horse team, kind of like the Hurricanes, even though I don't think they're as good as the Hurricanes. Even though the East is really stacked, I could see them making the playoffs somehow. Just because the Eastern covers could be weaker than we think, and I feel like the Buffalo Sabres could potentially sneak in there just as well as the Hurricanes could. You must be telling yourself, oh, the Buffalo Sabres suck, and you're not wrong. I think they have a solid team behind them. They got a good forward group with Eichel, O'Reilly, Kane, Pozo, Reinhart, Pominville, Gurnsons, Larson. They don't have a lot of forward depth, and that could hurt them in the long run. If they get a big injury, to let's say Okposo or something. But if they get an injury, I don't think they have quite the depth that they need to replace him, which could be a huge downfall for them. For the defense, they got Ristolainen and Bogosian, Scandella, McCabe, Georges, Beaulieu, Falcon, Tennyson. I think that's a great defensive group. Of course, Scandella I think is really underrated. People say he's overrated, but McCabe will have to prove himself. Georges is already proven. Beaulieu, I think he'll play well in Buffalo, honestly. He has the tools to play there. And I think he is kind of underrated in Montreal, and I think Montreal kind of underrated him. And I think he'll play well in Buffalo. Now, goalies, the biggest question of this team, most likely. Robin Lehner and Chad Johnson. Now, of course, Chad Johnson was on the Flames, and of course, their goaltending last year was a question. And if Robin Lehner doesn't play well, they have a great backup in Chad Johnson that could play, kind of save that team a little bit, kind of like a Calgary Flames from last season. But I think Lehner will play him really well. I think that even though he has a temper, I think that he has not proven himself quite yet, but he has had this good season before, and I think that he'll have a breakout year this season. Do I still have them making the postseason? No. The East is pretty much locked in. I don't think that there will be too many surprises just because the East is so strong this year. I think that it's a lot better than the West. The East has a lot of teams that should make it. A couple of teams that won't because it's just such a good conference. And I think Buffalo Sabres will have to just sit in the sidelines, be a middling team that won't make the playoffs, but will be close to it. It'll suck for those fans, but hey, it's an improvement over what they were doing. They're also one of those teams where I can see if things go right, Eichel has a breakout season. Okposo gets the trend going. If O'Reilly gets some offense and Kane actually gets that just temper out of his way, and Robin Lehner actually turns out to be a great goalie, I could see this team making the playoffs possibly. And that it'll have to take a lot, but I think they could get there. Not the best team, but you should probably look out for them. I'm interested in this team. It's not going to be too fun to watch, but they're going to be an interesting team to see what actually happens during the season. How well they'd go for, how many score. Like, the scoring is a bit of a weak spot besides Eichel, because they don't have a lot of pure scorers, and the defense isn't really offensive. And I think that it'll be a little bit of a problem for them to score goals, but I think their defense will be fantastic. They got quite a few forwards that are more defensive minded, like Ergensons, O'Reilly. So I think that they'll be a defensive team. So if you're wanting offense when your team is playing against them, I don't think that's going to be the case. That's going to be it for today, guys. Guys, enjoy. Make sure you like. Guys, really do enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.